Hey everybody, another GMG review. We're back today with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Order Battletome, Daughters of Khaine, the most recent of two released Battletomes. You can see the Night Haunt one today too, from Games Workshop, which they kindly sent along as a complimentary advanced review copy. So what do we have here? Well, this is the follow-up, of course, to the two-player battle box, pitting the Night Haunts and the Daughters of Khaine against each other in that spooky city, where the gladiators were all doing their thing and the ghosts came for revenge. We got 104 pages here with all the background you could possibly want, what's been going on with Morathi, how she's become Morathi Khaine, how she's basically screwing over all the other elf gods, the various covens, the various glaives, and then all the cities they've taken over and turned into, well, let's just say, not the best place to live. The new miniatures since the last release, you get the Meluce Iron Scale and the, sorry, she was available before, and the High Gladiatrix. Both these came out in two-player battle boxes and kind of added a new, like dimension to the heroes, which is nice. The beautiful Morathi Khaine Shadow Queen model that now exists both in the table at the same time, which is a nice thing to have, basically. It kind of sucked if this was the only one you ever had to play with and this one never came out, although she inevitably always came out. I think it's cool that now they just both exist in the same time. All the big wing ladies, the beautiful Slaughter Queen on Cauldron, and then these guys, the Shroud Queen, and all of the stuff that came out through Warcry also ratified into here. They're a little more dark elfy than Daughters of Khaine. I don't know. I was hoping they were going to be part of, Malekith's whole posse, but they're not. And then all the freak shows that came out with souls all messed out of Slaanesh and got snake bodies, because, snake bodies are a thing. If you're going to live inside Slaanesh for a couple thousand, 10,000, million thousand years, then you might come out with some parts you didn't have before, and the elf souls grew snake bodies. Then we got our battle ready and parade ready paint jobs, how to make cuts, weird stuff like that. And then we're into the actual rules for the army. So the Wrath of Khaine. What do we got? Allegiance abilities. So all the stuff that's based on them being Daughters of Khaine as an allegiance. Remember, this is the stuff they don't get if you use them as allies, which is kind of important. So you get your 6 different Daughters of Khaine sub-faction keywords: Hagnar, Drykeganeth, Keltnar, Kaelborn, Kraith, and Zainthar K. Much simplified. All 6 of their rules now fit on 2 pages, which is way easier and great. I didn't like reading out what was effectively stratagems in Age of Sigmar. I like these books. They don't melt my brain. Battle Fury is one of your traits. It's a heroic action you can carry out with a friendly Daughters of Khaine hero that is not a monster, so sorry Morathi, you can't do it. Not when you're big. Instead of picking one from the table in the core rules, if you do so, add 2 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons used by that hero until the end of the turn. This heroic action does not affect weapons used by your mount. So, not bad. Plus 2 attacks is an action. It's a finest hour offense instead of defense. All out slaughter. You can use this command ability when a friendly Daughters of Khaine unit is picked to fight in the combat phase. The command must be issued by a friendly Daughters of Khaine unit and received by the unit that's been picked to fight. If the unmodified hit for an attack made by that unit's a 6, make 2 its rolls instead of 1. So basically, exploding 6s is a command trait or command ability. It's pretty cool. And then Fanatical Faith, just a 6+ word for everybody. Oh, so much simpler. Just make them crazy and they shrug off wounds. Get them high on PCP and they'll do the job that you want them to do. And then finally, Blood Rights. Friendly Daughters of Khaine units gain an ability each battle round. As shown, units have the abilities of the current battle round and the previous one put together. So kind of like the different tides for the Idnith, it's still like a scaling, you stack your abilities. So first, +1 to runs, then +1 to charge, then +1 to hit with melee weapons, then +1 to wound with melee weapons, and then 5 aboard. So cool, run fast, charge fast, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, 5 aboard. Nice and easy to remember. You're just juiced to the max by round 5. Whoever's alive is just freaking out, which I think is, for an army that's built around momentum, and because you're so fragile, I like that as a design trait. It's easier to remember. It's not like an if and, it's not like a pick, it's not like a handout combat drugs. It's just go, 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 and you're speeding up, right? The engine's revving to 1,000 by the end. All right, command traits. There's a lot. You've got your Arcane Mastery for wizards. You know all the spells from Lord of Shadows. Sweet. In addition to the other spells that you know, like on your thing. Bathed in blood. In the combat phase, each time an enemy model is slain by wounds caused by your attacks, you heal a wound. Fueled by Revenge. It's for a Melusai Iron Scale only. Once per battle at the start of the combat phase, you can say that you will wreak Khaine's vengeance. If you do so until the end of the phase, add one of the attack characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Melusai units wholly within 12. So you get to like give +1 attack to everybody else. But only once per battle. And only to Melusai units. Yeah. Zealous Order. If this general issues the rally command, you can return a slain model for every 4+ instead of 6. That might be really cool if you, I mean, you don't tend to retreat out with your giant fat unit of like daughters, but they might wipe somebody out, take like 2/3 casualties, and then before they charge somebody else in the command phase, rally them, and fully half your casualties stand back up. That was pretty cool. I like that one a lot. Zealous Order could be really cool. And knowing all the spells is neat. Getting wounds back from murdering is cool, but I feel like Zealous Order might be underrated. Master of Poisons. At the end of the combat phase, if any wounds caused by the general's attacks are allocated to any model on the battlefield, pick one of those models, they take D6 mortal wounds. That one's going to be popular just because it's good. It's good and straightforward. Did I wound you once? Take D6 mortal wounds. Sacrificial Overseer. After the generals fought for the first time in the combat phase, if any enemy models were slain by wounds caused by the general's attacks in that phase, the general is said to be reveling in murder. It sounds like an A&E special. If the general is reveling in murder until the end of that phase, they can fight for a second time. The strike last effect applies to the general when they fight for the second time. So basically, if you kill anybody, you revel in murder, and then you fight again. So for all your unnamed generals, it could be pretty good. And if your general's riding on a big murder chariot as well. And then True Believer, add to the number of the current battle round. Add 1 to the number of the current battle round when determining the abilities gained by this general for the blood rights. This ability and other similar abilities are cumulative, so you can be all jacked up from the beginning. Master of Poisons and Sacrificial Overseer and maybe Bathed in Blood seem like the upfront runners in this, but I think Zealous Order's got some legs. I feel like if you have a support person be your general and you give them that trait, you keep in the back line and you're just refilling units every single hero phase on 4+, if you're taking big Daughters units, that could be really cool. Yeah, Master Poisons and Sacrificial Overseer I think are probably the front runners, but Zealous Order I think could have some legs. It'd be really annoying. Be very like submarine, like an underrated ability. All right, Artifacts of Power divided up to a bunch of different ones. So first you got your Gifts of Morathi, Bloodbane Venom. Pick one of your melee weapons. After the bear fights, if any wounds caused by attacks made by that weapon allocated to an enemy model that was not been slain, roll a die. If the roll is greater than their wound characteristic, they're dead. Could be, again, very handy. If you're fighting like non-heroes, like you're fighting ogres, you know what I mean? And you do a wound to like a 4-wound ogre and you roll 5+ and you just kill them. Could be cool. Crone Blade, pick one of the bear's melee weapons. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made if it's a 6, you can heal a wound allocated to the bearer after the attack's been resolved. So Crone Blade kind of makes Bathed in Blood not relevant, right? Because you could then give up that one for another one and then give them the Crone Blade to build in some healing. Crown of Woe, enemy units can't get the Rally or Inspiring Presence command within 9 of this bearer. In addition, if any enemy models are slain by wounds caused by this bearer's attacks, increase the range of this ability to 15 for the remainder of the battle. So kill somebody, and within 15 you can't Rally or Inspiring Presence. And then Runic Cane, the first time this bearer is slain, the bearer can fight before removed from play. So yeah, fight before you die. I don't know, the Crone Blade seems cool. Crown of Woe also could be cool. None of them stand out. Wizards only, Crystal Heart. When you attempt to cast a spell that summons an endless spell, the range of that spell is doubled. That can be cool. Sevenfold Shadow. Once per battle in your movement phase, instead of making a normal move with the bearer, you can remove the bearer from the battlefield and set them up anywhere within, not within 9 enemy units. And then Shadowstone, +1 to casting rolls when you attempt to cast spells from Lower Shadow. And then your relics, pick up Extra Prayer for the Blood Sigil and the Khainite Pendant. Once per battle, before you chain a prayer, you can say they'll call upon the power, and it's automatically answered. And then you got Spells and Prayers, because you are freaky priests. So Lower Shadows, and again, you can command traits to know all of these if you want. Steed of Shadows, move characteristic is 16, you can fly on a 6. Pit of Shades, as an endless, it's casting value of 6 and a range of 18. If cast, pick an enemy unit within range invisible and roll 2d6. If it's higher than your move characteristic, you take a number of mortal wounds equal to the distance between its move and the roll. So slow units get screwed by that. Mirror Dance has a casting value of 6 and a range of 18. If cast, pick 2 friendly Daughters of Khaine heroes that are wholly within range, visible to the caster, and more than 3 from the enemy units. remove those heroes from the battlefield, then set them up again within one of the location that had been occupied by the other model. So basically they swap spots. And be more than 3. The Withering, cast on 7 and range 18. If cast, pick an enemy unit within range invisible. Add 1 to wound rolls for attacks that target that unit until the end of the turn. So you call somebody out and have +1 to wound them. Mind Razor, if a spell is casting value of 8 and a range of 18, so significantly harder to cast than previous. Pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine unit wholly within range invisible to the caster. Improve the rank characteristic of that unit's melee weapons by 1 until your next hero phase. In addition, until your next hero phase, add 1 of the damage characteristic of their melee weapons if they charge in the same turn. So +1 damage, +1 rend, casts on 8. And you still juice up 1 giant unit and send them in at damage 2, -1 rend. I mean, yeah. If you want to go send in, I don't know. Let's just see what it looks like for regular old Witch Elves. 3 attacks, 3s and 4s, with damage 2 and rend -1. Could be real damagey. And Sisters of Slaughter, same thing. 2 attacks. I'd go with the more dice probably, although you won't get them in range. Yeah, maybe Sisters, because they have 2-inch reach, so everything gets in a save. There's a lot of options there, but you do throw a whole lot of dice with Witch Elves as long as you're not worried about getting them all into combat. Mind Razor's real good still. Shroud of Despair. Cast on 4 and range 18. If cast, pick an enemy unit within range invisible to the caster. Subtract 1 from its bravery characteristic until your next hero phase. If the caster rolls 8+, subtract D3 instead of 1. So, not the greatest lore in the world. Mind Razor is still your #1 spell. Steed could be situationally useful, same with Mirror Dance. Pit's probably not great anymore because most units are at least a 6-inch move. All right, prayers. Once again, this was the part that took all day in the old Daughters of Khaine book. So priests, Catechism of Murder, answered on a 3 and range of 14. If this prayer is answered, pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine unit within range invisible until your next hero phase. If the unmodified hit roll for is a 6, you make 2 hits instead of 1. So Exploding Sixes, Blessing of Khaine, cast on 3 range 14. Reroll Fanatical Faith roll. So you reroll your ward save for Blessings of Khaine. Martyr's Sacrifice, answered on 3 range 14. Pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine wholly within range invisible. Until your next hero phase, if you're slain by an attack made with a melee weapon, pick an enemy unit within 3 of the slain model and roll a die. On a 5+, take a mortal wound. So when you die, you explode into mortal wounds. So far, reroll wards, explode when you die, and Exploding Sixes. Crimson Rejuvenation, answered on 3 range 14. Pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine unit wholly within range invisible and heal D3 wounds, so you get some life back. Covenant of the Iron Heart, answered on 3 range 14. If pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine unit wholly within range invisible, and then they don't take battle shock. And then Sacrament of Blood, same, answered on 3 range 14. Pick a friendly Daughters of Khaine unit wholly within range invisible until your next hero phase. I wanted the number of the current battle round for blood rights, and it's cumulative. So again, the ones you're most likely going to use, up the ward save and Exploding Sixes. They're both real good. All right, temples. Oh my god, so much easier. Hagnar, add 1 to the number of the current battle round for blood rights. Drakey Ganef, Bladed Killers, improve the rend of your Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter by 1 if they make a charge. So now you can be with Mind Razor -2. With 2-inch reach and 2 attacks each and damage 2 on the charge. So Drakey Ganef is going to be real popular. Keltnar, retreat and still charge in the same turn. And that's all units, not just Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter. Sisters of Slaughter. Oh my god. Calibron. You can use command ability at the end of your movement phase. The command can only be issued by a friendly Calibron hero. And the unit that receives the command must be a friendly Calibron unit. Remove the unit from the battlefield and set them up more than 9 friendly units. So just disappear. The Kraith, Disciples of Slaughter. After a friendly Kraith Sisters of Slaughter unit has fought for the first time, roll a die. On a 4+, they can fight a second time and strike last. Double fight your Sisters of Slaughter. I don't know. Pretty good. And then Xanathar Kai. Each model is slain by a Xanathar Kai Maluse. The model can fight before it's removed from play. So when you die, you fight. So, yeah. I don't know. Drakey Ganef seems real good because you're leaning into those Sisters of Slaughter and Witch Elves. Although Keltnar's retreat and still charge seems like it could be useful. I don't know, these two. And then Hagnar's just easy because you're getting extra. You're getting +1 to run, +1 to charge in the first turn. So these ones are a little more situational, especially with it cost a CP because it's a command point. And it's a dice roll for this one to go off. This one, if you're leaning into the snakes, maybe, but like these three are kind of it. Fall back and charge, +1 run on the charge, and just extra blood rights. Hagnar, Drake Ganeth, and Kiltnar, I think, are still the winners. Path to Glory. Guess what they're going to quest to? Fill up your cauldron with blood and or kill people who are scared. Surprise, surprise. Ritual Cauldron. Fill it with blood. There's a lot of violent tendencies in this army. All right, and then Grand Strategies and Battle Tactics. A couple are good, a couple are so-so. Obviously, the problem with the Grand Strategies and the Battle Tactics is the more non-interactive they are, the better they are because the easier they are to score. So like the 2 Night Hunt ones that are best are ones where you just stand next to something. You don't have to kill it, you just have to be next to it, end of the game, score 3, or score 2 at the end of the round, right? Like, I feel like there's going to be some struggle to make ones that are narratively interesting but aren't non-interactive, and you end up with the Secure Knockman data from 40k, where everyone's just pushing buttons and standing in circles, and there's no actual fighting happening, scoring points. But anyway, I digress. These ones. Bloodbath. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if all enemy heroes and monsters have at least 1 wound allocated to them, or have been slain, and if all other enemy units on the battlefield have at least 1 slain model. So if everybody's hurt, you gain your grand strategy. Conquered in the Name of Khaine. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there's a friendly avatar of Khaine or Cauldron of Blood wholly within enemy territory. So just shove your model forward. Again, not super interactive, and you're probably taking a Cauldron for the Blood Shield anyway, so yeah, just run away. And considering you can take a battle tray where you can retreat and still charge, that's pretty good. Bloodthirsty Zealots. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if all friendly units have either fought at least once during the battle or have been destroyed. So there's not a lot of art, like, I don't really know what fought means. So does it mean I shot you? Does it mean I fought around a combat in melee? Because if it means I shot you, I'm pretty sure, like, does it mean I cast a spell at you? I don't actually know what, this is the weirdest one, because I don't know what fought means. It could mean a bunch of things, and I think it means fight in melee. If it's fought at least once during the battle in the fight phase, then I can say that makes sense. I'm pretty sure it's going to get FAQ'd like day 1 to be that. But it's like the best one because it's just non-interactive. Did I cast a spell? I probably did a thing over the course of the game, or I'm dead. That seems like an easy 3. Even if it's FAQ'd, it's probably an easy 3 because most of your army is going to want to fight in melee at some point. Or be dead, right? So like it doesn't matter. Either like your opponent succeeds for you or you succeed for them. And then Not But Destruction. If you pick this grand strategy after deployment, pick a defensible terrain feature wholly within enemy territory. If there are no defensible terrain features wholly within enemy territory, pick one defensible terrain feature anywhere on the battlefield. When the battle ends, you complete if it's been demolished. So you have to figure out a way to demolish that territory. You don't have a ton of demolishing options in your army, except for Morathi could demolish it. I don't think even the Avatar's a monster. She's a monster. Nope, the Blood Rack isn't. I don't think anything else is a monster. Nope. Hag Queen on Cauldron of Blood is not a monster. Avatar Khaine, are you a monster? Show me Avatar Khaine. Show me Potato Salad. Nope. Nope. Just demolish it with Morathi, I guess. Go demolish something with Morathi is the name of that one. But I think Bloodthirsty Zealots is it. Like, you just take it because, like, I'm dead or I fought. And I don't know what fought means. I assume it means in the fight phase. But it could mean anything. I'll just say, yes, they fought. They were here. They showed up to the game, and I scored 3 points at the end. That one's the Bloodthirsty Zealots seems like the no-brainer. Murderous Ploys, Daughter of Khaine army only. Clash of Arms. Also, that one, yeah, it's weird that one got through. It's weird that one got through and it was worded that badly. I'm sorry, it's just stuck in my head all of a sudden. Anyway, Battle Tactics, Murderous Ploys. Clash of Arms, you complete this tactic if 3 or more friendly units make a charge move this turn. If 2 or more of those units are Witch Elves or Sister Slaughter, added victory point. That's an easy one. 3 units going to charge. If you get the double battle round, if you get to turn 2 and you're already +1 to charge, like, yes. So yeah, Clash of Arms is a no-brainer. Cruel Delight, you complete this tactic if 2 or more friendly Kinray units move their fire and flight ability or fight and flight ability in this turn. Again, that one seems like a... Because I think the triggers just have done it and then you move. And I don't think there's a lot of like work triggering it. Oh, you have to roll a die. So it's really the heart renders that can do it automatically, because after the unit shoots, they make a normal move of 6 inches. The life takers are after they fight. On a 4+, they can retreat. So yeah, just take 2 units of heart renders, which is what you do anyway, and you'll get that one automatically without having to roll a die. So yeah, Cruel to Right, depending on your army build, and a lot of people take 2 units of those just to be like late game objective grabbers, because they're significantly tougher than you think they are based on how they look, because it's like 5 Lady Hawks. 14-inch move, yeah, they can be from far away. They have a 12-inch shot, so they can just put 5 bodies in objectives, and then shoot and scoot, because they can fall backwards still, or even charge in on it. So yeah, what's crazy is you can't really zone them out either, because if you push them 9 inches away from an objective, they shoot you, and then they move 6 into the objective. So like, they're still amazing. They're still exactly the same as in the booklet. Tidal Blades, you complete this tactic if there's 2 or more units from your starting army wholly within your opponent's territory at the end of the turn. If 2 or more of those units are Witch Elves, score an additional victory point. That one, again, is non-interactive and super easy, because you have lots of Witch Elves in your army, and your opponent's territory can literally be the middle of the board. So you can just walk over the line, and then turn 2, walk over the line again, and be in range. Executioner's Cult, if you can pick this battle tactic only if there's a high gladiatrix in the battlefield. Complete this tactic if an enemy hero is slain by the Killing Stroke ability. If you kill someone with your roll higher than their wounds. Hater to Chaos. Pick this tactic if you're a Hagnar or Keltnar army. You complete this tactic if 2 more Chaos units are destroyed in the turn. And then Unexpected Attack. Complete this tactic if a friendly Khainite Shadowstalkers unit uses its Shadow Leap ability and makes a charge move this turn. So like, those 3 are all situational, but these 3 are great. Witch Elves in territory. 3 or more units of Witch Elves charged, and it's worth 3 instead of 2. And then Kinray units, like the most common units taken in the army, and do something wholly non-interactive over the course of the game. And then Core Battalions, you can include the following Core Battalions if you're using the Core Battalions. So you can do a Viperic Guard with Morathi, a Khainite Leader, Melusai, Doomfire Warlocks, and Kinray Warriors. And the bonus is nothing. Oh no, sorry, the bonus is you get an item. And then Shadow Patrol is Unified Drop. And then Magnificent is what it's called. And then you also gain Swift. Once per battle, you can add the double. Or forward into victory, that's spending a command point. So that one is 2 Doomfire Warlocks, 2 Kinray, 2 Kinray, and that's it. So yeah, so it's Morathi, Khainite Leader rather, and then 2 Meluthai Warriors. So if you're doing all snakes, take the Viperic Guard. Shadow Patrol, I don't know, if you want a Unified Drop, I don't really see the point of either of these. I don't see the point. Morathi Khaine. She's the same as her update as far as I can tell. Cast 2 Unbind 2, War Master, which is the big one. She gets to, I think that's the big trick, is if she has War Master in this one, then she is the same, because that was the big update, is always being able to be the War Master. Shadow Queen. Oh no, she doesn't have War Master. Crazy. So yeah, she's always your general, which is great. War Master is a great ability. Shadow Queen is included with the Morathi Khaine profile. She's got same Heart Renders now at -2 instead of a -1. Otherwise it's the same. Bladed Wings, 6 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1/1 damage, 2-inch range, 2-inch range. Yeah, it's all the same. Cast 2 Unbind 2. Sorry, cast 3 Unbind 2. Commanding Presence, -1 hit to her. 1 soul, 2 bodies. If the Shadow Queen is on the battlefield, wounds and mortal wounds are allocated. That would be allocated to this unit, or allocated to the Shadow Queen and have no effect on this unit. Wounds and mortal wounds allocated to the Shadow Queen this way cannot be negated. In addition, if the Shadow Queen is on the battlefield and the effect ability would destroy this unit, they take 3 mortal wounds instead. And if they're destroyed, after removing this unit from play, this unit's also destroyed. So if she dies, she dies. And then she has that wound characteristic for the purposes of other things, basically. Worship through Bloodshed, it's command ability that can be used as part of your army. If they're on the battlefield, the command can only be issued by this unit, and they must be received by Daughters of Khaine unit. They can shoot, or if it's within 3, they can fight. The Black Horror of Ulgu. Rolling Black Cloud of Energy swirls into existence. Cast on 7, range 36. If successfully cast, pick an enemy unit within range invisible to the caster. Then roll a die. On a 1, that unit suffers a mortal wound. On a 2 to 3, it suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 4+, suffers D6 mortal wounds. And then we're looking at the Shadow Queen. Where are you at, Shadow Queen? Are you in the same part of the... Hang on. She might even just be the same entry. The Shadeburn and the Shadow Queen, there she is. Same core stats. Gaze is still the same. Heartrender is 3s and 3s, -2, 3 damage with 8 attacks. Yep, it looks like her table is... Ooh, so it's gotten better. So now it's 6 wounds. You have to half wound her to bracket her. So 6 wounds, her move goes down to 12, and then 7. She's lost a bracket basically at the top. So she can take 6 before she gets bracketed. And otherwise, the bottom's gone out, so there's no more. 11 plus is no longer 6 for 2. So she basically lost the whole bottom bracket, and the top brackets became, like the numbers are the same. There's no more 11 plus bracket from the previous one, and the numbers all shifted to half wounds, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 plus. That's nice. She doesn't bottom out as hard. Envenom Tail looks like it's the same. Crown of Serpents is the same. And that's it. Same Daughters of Khaine stuff. If she dies, 2 bodies, 1 soul. Fury of the Shadow Queen. When this unit's within 3 inches of any enemy unit, add 1 to the attack characteristic of Kinray and Melusai that are wholly within 18. So she freaks them out when she starts to fight. And then the Ironheart of Khaine. No more than 3 wounds or mortal wounds can be allocated to this unit in the same turn. Once 3 wounds or mortal wounds have been allocated, not counting any wounds that were negated, any further wounds or mortal wounds that would be allocated are negated. Wounds and mortal wounds allocated to this unit at the start of the battle round count towards the number of wounds allocated to this unit. In addition, if an ability or spell, so like, let's say if I used the amazing new Lady Olinda ability, which just curses her. You don't have to curse her, just curse Daughters of Khaine and keep on melting her with D3 plus 1 wounds per turn. So she just takes her max every turn, which means she's dead on turn 4. Actually, it's per phase. Wounds and mortal wounds allocated to this unit at the start of the battle round count towards the number of wounds allocated to this unit in the first turn of that battle round. That's right, in the same turn. Okay, yeah. So if she takes them at the start, then the first turn is when she's taking them. Got it. So you could, if you wounded her during your turn and their turn, the battle round, yeah, you could probably kill her in 2 turns actually, but she would just die naturally from getting cursed. And if she be destroyed, she just takes 3 mortal wounds. And wounds allocated to this unit cannot be healed. She can never be healed for the Ironheart of Khaine. All right, the Bloodwrack Shrine. Did you change it all, Bloodwrack Shrine? What say you? Looks like your move stayed the same. Did you lose a bracket? I think everybody probably lost a bracket. No, you didn't. Oh, yeah, your brackets just changed. Your bracket stayed exactly the same for like the values, but it changed to 6 wounds, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 plus. So you became a little bit tougher. Your Bloodwrack Stare looks like it's the same. Tail of Serpents is the same. Whisper Claw is the same. Bloodwrack Spear is the same, yeah. Aura of Agony, at the start of your hero phase, you can roll a die for each enemy unit within 7. If the roll is equal to or greater than the Aura of Agony, they take you 3 mortal wounds. So Aura of Agony is 2 plus in the beginning. Can't take it more than once per turn. Bladed Impact, 2 plus D3 mortal wounds when you charge. Bloodwrack Stare, roll number of dice equal to the number of models in the unit, and a 5 plus take a mortal wound. Again, the absolute goblin killer. Melusai Kin, start of your combat phase, pick a friendly Melusai unit wholly within 12 and add 1 to the current battle round for blood rights. An Enfeebling Foe, cast on 5, range 18. If cast, pick an enemy unit within range invisible. Subtract 1 from wound rolls for attacks made by melee weapons at target until the end of the round. The Iron Scale, I don't think it's changed too much. Might have been tweaked a little bit. Melusai Iron Scale. She's relatively new compared to some of their stuff. She's the same core stat-wise. Same attack-wise. Still D3 damage. I'm surprised they didn't give the elves flat damage. Everybody else got flat damage. There's still tons of D3 damage in here. Turn to Crystal. 2 plus, take a mortal wound. Gory Offering. +1 attacks for friendly Melusai within 12 if she kills anybody. And then Wrath of the Scathborn. Charge even if you ran or shot in the same turn as a command ability. And then your Bloodwrack Medusa. So she's pretty much the same. Her core stats are identical yet again. Bloodwrack Stare is the same. 5 pluses to kill a guy. Number of models in the unit for the number. Cast 1, Unbind 2, a weird ability. Spear is the same. Whisper Claw is the same. Oh, no, it hits on 3s now. The tiniest of changes. And the Tail of Serpents is the same. So the Whisper Claw hits on 3s now. That's the big change. And Feebling Foe is the same. Elusive Kin's the same. Morgwaith the Blooded. You're from Underworlds. You have the same core stats. You have the same... Oh, you got D3 damage now on your weapons. Sweet. So 3+, 3+, -1 D3 instead of 1 damage. Still Priest of Khaine. And if you do so, a unit cannot drink Witch Brew more than once per the same hero phase. If you do so, add... so she can give Witch Brew to Daughters of Khaine unit only within 12. +1 of the battle rounds for the traits. And then Touch of Death. Prayer that has a value of 3 and a range of 3. Pick an unit within range invisible, and they take D3 mortal wounds. So if you're close by, just D3 mortal wounds. And the Blade Coven. 2 wounds each. Each bow, knives. And so it's just that same mixed unit. Zealots the First Temple. You can allocate wounds to them on a 2+. Get a little protector. The Hag Queen on a Cauldron of Blood. All right, this was the big staple. The big, like, we hold the army together with the Hag Queen because she's got that sweet blood shield. Core stats are the same. Her brackets will have changed. Yep. So she's does 6 wounds now before she's bracketed, and she's moved 6. Her Science is 8, and Blood Shield is 18-inch range. So the brackets are identical. It's just the wound values have changed. So it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 18, 14, 10, and 6. Torn and Burning Blood looks exactly the same. Sacrificial Knives are now called Scienza. Yeah, I don't know why they're called Scienza instead of Sacrificial Knives. They're 3s and 4s, 1 damage. Yeah, they're the same. Blade of Khaine for the Avatar. From the Lady is 4s, 3+, 3+, -1 D3 damage now. That's cool. So the Lady fights with a D3 damage attack, and the Avatar's sword is still 4s, 3s and 3s, -2, 3 damage. Yeah. +1 to Chant for Priest Holy within 9. Bladed Impact, 2+ D3 mortal wounds. Blood Shield, +1 to save rolls. Witch Brew. Same as Witch Brew, +1 of the Blood Rights trait. Touch of Death. It's the same as Touch of Death, yeah. If you're within 3, 3+ D3 mortal wounds. Hag Queen's the same, Touch of Death and Witch Brew. 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, they got D3 damage, which is nice, so a little bit more damagey. Core stats are the same. Slaughter Queen and Cauldron of Blood. Yeah, she's pretty much the same too. Torrent's the same, wound brackets changed. Altar rules are the same. Orgy of Slaughter. She can unbind with Pact of Blood. Orgy of Slaughter. Command ability can be used on any Daughters of Khaine unit within 3 of enemy units, and then they can fight. So you can just cause somebody to fight, and then Dance of Doom as Prayer's value of 3 if answered the strike first effects of this unit. Yeah, so you basically make yourself strike first on a 3+. Make somebody fight for a command ability. That's it. And you can issue to anybody. So she's still great. Slaughter Queen on foot, same thing. Dance of Doom, Orgy of Slaughter. High Gladiatrix. Again, all of the out of activation fighting is a lot. So fighting the hero phase. Yeah, because we got a lot of fighting in the hero phase. High Gladiatrix is the same as in the book. Or the booklet rather. Sisters and Witch Elves is the same as in the booklets. Shadow Stalkers, did you get any buffs? I haven't seen you in a minute. I love your models. I want you to be cooler than you are. Khainite Shadow Stalkers, A, B, C, D, E. You got a 4-up save instead of a 5-up. That's cool. Little bonus there. Your Cursed Missiles, 3s and 3s, -1, 1 damage. That's an improvement. Hits better on a rend. Assassin's Blades, 4s and 3s, 1 damage, and Umbral Blades, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1 D3 damage. And they can still Shadow Leap and put them anywhere on the battlefield. Doomfire is the same as in the booklet, and then it's Avatar Khaine. What do you got going on, Avatar Khaine? 9-inch move, 9 wounds, 4+, 10 bravery, Torn of Blood's the same as on the Cauldron. Avatar Sword's the same as on the Cauldron. Altar of Khaine. Add 1 to chaining rolls if you're within 9. 5+ ward. Wrath of Khaine. Counts as a monster for the purpose of monstrous rampage rolls. Sweet, but you cannot only carry out Stomp or Smash to rubble. Okay, there you go. So it's not just Morathi for that thing. I didn't see, he didn't have the monster keyword. I didn't see that special rule. So he can do 2 things that are monstery, but he's not actually a monster. So he can still Smash to rubble, which is cool. And also, you don't have to activate him. The biggest change of all, don't have to animate him. You can just paint him in your army now, and he'll go kill stuff for you. So yay, Avatar Khaine, just a thing on his own. Has a cool ward save. He's just a cool little baby monster, and he's not that expensive, I don't think, either. He is 155, but counts as a behemoth choice? Oh my god, weird. All right, Blood Sisters, Blood Stalkers, sorry, still have the, on a 6 to hit, take a mortal wound. 2 shots, 3s and 3s, -1 damage with 24-inch range. The little stabbers are 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, 1 damage, and their Bloodworm on the champion is 3s and 3s, 1 damage. 8-inch move, 2 wounds, bravery 8, save 5+. Blood Sisters turn to Crystal. Roll a dice for each model in this unit on 2+, take a mortal wound if they're within 1 at the end of the turn. After they fight. 3s and 3s, -1, 1 damage. I think you could Mind Razor them to make them good. I wish they were 2 damage. If they were 2 damage, I think they'd be a very cool little stabby, fighty kind of unit. And 4 saves, they don't, the 5 save doesn't do it. Heartrenders, already talked about them, they're great. I think just 2 units to shoot and get on objectives is fantastic. The Life Takers, not so much. They don't want to be in melee. Yeah, they don't ever want to be in melee. I'd rather be staying outside of melee throwing barbed javelins. And then Bloodrack Viper. Cast on 7, range 9. You can double it though, remember? And then Endless Spell, it's predatory and can move down and fly. Fanged Strike. After it's moved, the commanding player must pick one unit within 1 and roll 3 dice. For each roll that's greater than the wound characteristic of a model, a model in that unit is slain. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. But you don't pick the models, unfortunately. A model in the unit is slain. It's not as good as the usual slay stuff where you can pick a model out of a unit. Monster of Blood, at the end of the charge phase, the commanding player can count this endless spell as a monster for the purpose of monstrous rampages, and they can stomp or smash to rubble. So another thing you'd use to go smash a building if you wanted to. The Blade Wind, range of 9, and if you successfully cast on a 6, you can then move it predatorily 12 inches and it can fly. Unnatural Edge, after the spell is moved, roll a dice for each unit that's passed across or within 1 on a 2+ takes a mortal wound. In addition, don't apply cover for save rolls to attacks that target units within 12 of this endless spell, because they're all covered in blood. And then the Heart of Fury, it has an invocation. It's not an endless spell, so it's the one invocation. On a 3 in a range of 12 inches, only Daughters of Khaine Priest can bring it in. It's a Locus of Murder. At the start of the combat phase, if this invocation is on the battlefield, the commanding player must roll a die on a 1 to 5 until the end of that phase, subtract 1 from the damage inflicted, to a minimum of 1 by each successful attack that targets a Daughters of Khaine unit in the commanding player's army wholly within 12 of this invocation. And then on a 6 until the end of that phase, subtract 1 from the damage inflicted to a minimum of 1 by each successful attack that targets a Daughters of Khaine unit wholly within 12 of this invocation, and add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons used by Daughters of Khaine units in the commanding player's army wholly within 12. In addition, if the roll is a 6, this invocation is removed from play at the end of the phase. So, cool. It has a cool ability and that goes away. Points. Sisters of Slaughter are 135. Witch Elves are 115. I think the Sisters of Slaughter is still amazing. A Drakey Ganeth army can include 1 reinforced or double reinforced Witch Elves unit in addition to any other reinforced units it can include. So, you get a bonus reinforcement. Avatar is 155 and a Behemoth, but I think I'd still take him. Bloodrack Medusa is 130. Bloodrack Shrine is 200. Hag Queen is 110, High Gladiatrix is 90, Meluce Iron Scale is 115, Morathi Khaine, the Shadow Queen, is 680, still great. Morgwraith the Blood is 185 with a retinue. Slaughter Queen's 130, Cauldron of Blood 270, such a steal for that model. And then Slaughter Queen and Cauldron of Blood's 315, still I think a steal as well. Just for Orgy of Slaughter to fight in the combat phase, or in the hero phase. Blood Sisters are 140, Bloodstalkers are 180, Doomfire Warlocks are 145, Shadow Stalkers are 150 for 9, still weird, but they're Battleline and a Kilburn army. Bloodstalkers are Battleline and Zainthar K, or if you're Generals of Meluce, same with Blood Sisters. The Slaughter Queen on a Cauldron of Blood is single. A Hagnar army can include a Cauldron of Blood in addition to any other Behemoth units it can include. I don't think you'd ever go over your Behemoth totals, but you could take a lot of avatars all of a sudden. It's not unique. For 155, you can just take like 4 avatars and then still take the Slaughter Queen if you're playing Hagnar. That's kind of neat. I mean, 4 avatars is only 620 points, and they're pretty great. And then you have Doomfire Warlocks for 145. Sorry, Kinray Huntrunners 95. Life Takers are 90. I think I'd always take chance of the Heartrenders for 95. They're so good. And then your Blade Wind is 50. Bloodrock Vipers 80. Heart of Furies at 45. You can ally with Cities of Sigmar, Idoneth, Lumineth, Stormcast, and Sylvaneth. A neat little army. I don't know. They haven't... The bandwidth on them is lower, and that always makes me happy. Less to remember. The prayer stuff isn't going to like break my brain. And everything does what it does in the tin. I feel like there'll be less like out of activation shenanigans to try and figure out. The Tide stuff is easy to remember. The Bloodright stuff is easy to remember. It's just kind of the whole book's streamlined. You know what I mean? Some models got like, it's not quite like the Nighthunt book where some models got way better all of a sudden. And some groups got way better all of a sudden. There are some non-interactive grand strategies that I think will be really popular. Same with some of the battle tactics. But overall, just a streamlined, like now 3rd edition compliant book. A couple things that are weird though, like I don't know about that Bloodthirsty Zealots thing. It just doesn't make any sense because I don't know what fought means. I assume it means fought in the fight phase. It was picked to fight in the fight phase, but it doesn't say that, so it's like... Yeah, it's just badly worded. It's a bit badly worded. So like, this is a very good, I think, 3rd edition like compliant book now that can hold its own. It's still Daughters of Khaine though. It's still kind of linked up to Morathi and the Blood Shrine. You're still linked up to your battle line choices because your Daughters of Khaine, like it still goes rev vroom vroom into people. Stuff's dropping that you don't have time to deal with because you're dealing with giant, huge units of like 20 to 30 witch elves or Sisters of Slaughter that are stabbing the hell out of the middle of your army. They've all got a ward. They can all up their ward. They're all fairly like stabby. And you're getting blasted by Mind Razor, you know, charging units that'll just obliterate something and then fight. And if they can kill something on the turn, then during the hero phase, that I think that command trait to come back on a 4+ is a legit play. To go in, murder something with Mind Razor, be out of combat at the start of your next hero phase, even if it's your opponent, and then rally on a 4. And then come back. Yeah, they're not super ore dependent. They do like their priest. They do like their blood shrine. Overall, though, I feel like the army hasn't changed much. It's like the handling and the suspension on the car has been improved to make it more fun to drive, and that's where this book's going to be at. So anyway, big thanks for watching. I'm sure you'll see Chris come down with his Daughters of Khaine to play me in the future. Till then, I'm Ash. Have a gaming. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Deathray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.